Hello, this is Dutch Builds. My name is Jerome. Welcome back to my channel. And this is going to be an episode I've been wanting to make for a long time. And I guess today's the day. Today I'm going to do the electrics on my GS450 Mark II. So the blue one. And I've already done a GS450. Now that bike I've used a Motogadget. Now that was a pretty expensive unit. I'll put a link up here to that video, but I've always wanted to do a comparison to the NWT stuff that I'm using right now. So I thought it would be cool to do the video about some other products as well for exactly the same bike, because the GS1 that I've already done and the GS2 are basically the same bikes. They look totally different, but electrically they are basically the same. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to install a unit by NWT Europe, the X21s, or yeah, used to be called the Marty units. And this one is the Value-m unit. As you can see, Value-m, that is the most basic unit you can get from them, because that's why I chose it for this one, because it's just brakes, lights, indicators, some lights for the gauge, which is pretty basic, same as the first one. And I'm just curious to see if this is harder or the same as the 350 euros M unit that I've got in the other one. The Value-m, and that has a big difference from the get-go, is that it comes with its own switches. So with the M unit I've got on the other one, it didn't come with any switches. This one does. Now those switches I got from, oh, I forgot his name. Well, I'll put the name down here. Sorry, I forgot that. But they were, I think, about 100 euros nearly. These come with the unit. So that's the win from the get-go. So when you start off with the X21, there is a real apparent difference from the Motogadget stuff. The first thing is that Motogadget nowadays only sells, I think, with a Bluetooth option. When I did the install on the first GS450, I had a choice between non-Bluetooth and Bluetooth, which was about a difference of 100 euros, I think. And now I don't think you have that choice anymore. With the X21s, you actually have multiple choices depending on whatever you need. It all comes down to how many outputs you have, so how many systems you want this unit to control. Now for these GS450s I've got here, it's basic as it gets, and I want to get the overall look as clean as I can, so that's why I went for the Value-m option, which is with the least amount of outputs, and the least amount of wiring, of course. So it's a really small unit, as you can see, and it's got all the wiring that you need already in the package, so that's really cool. With this you actually get the switches that you need. There is about, I think, about 3 or 4 different units, and you've got about 6 different types of controls you can get. This is the most simple one. I will do the unwrapping in a minute, but that has a big difference as well. You actually get that with the unit. And also you get, with every unit you buy, you get this throttle body. You don't have to use it. You can use your own if you want to, but these are actually really cool to work with. Really basic install. They look nice and clean, I think, on every build basically. And they're you can use these for single pull or double, it doesn't really matter. So this one is like a single, it just has one wire going to the carb, but you can use this on a CX500 as well that has a dual, so you have to pull got 2 wires, one closing it, one opening the carb. You could do both with this. It's really easy to install, and you get it with your unit, so that is really cool. I think if you buy this and you get all the little like connectors to put into the put in the unit, you get that as well. So basically you've got a pretty cool package here as well. It gets even cooler. This is the wiring diagram on my GS450. This is luckily in color, which is pretty good. I think this is the one that belongs to my bike. It's like a Frankenstein bike basically, but this comes pretty close. I've checked it. But the coolest part is of this X21 company and Cycletronic is that if you send your wiring diagram to their tech support, and you can find that on their website, they will actually send you a complete custom wiring diagram as you should install it. So this is the wiring diagram for my GS450 Mark II with the aftermarket stuff I may or may not use. So that is really, really cool. That is an absolute bonus from this company. Motogadget does not do this. It does not provide it. So as you can see, this is the unit. This is a gear selector I'm not going to use apart from the neutral, so they've only put in the neutral switch. These are the buttons that came with the unit, so that's these units over here. This is the gauge I'm using, and it's a really basic gauge. It's just got a light, and I'm going to use some small LED indicators, which I provided to them. I said I'm just going to use this net, and they've actually put that in this diagram. The rest is basically my bike, and I've just got some blinkers, some lights, and this is how I incorporate the CDI into this entire system. And that's something that people usually struggle with. Do I need the CDI and do I need a relay or something? For this bike you don't. And that was the same with the M unit basically, but they have actually told me this now, and with the M unit I had to figure it out myself by trial and error. I think this is an absolute bonus. It took about, I think, communications over 2 days to get this from them. Yeah, that's brilliant. That's really brilliant. So I do think, no, I know it is really important to do your homework. When you buy one of these X21s, doesn't matter which value type you get, go over to the website, NWT Europe if you're more local, like I am Dutch, blah, blah, blah. Go over to the website and find their unit on the website, and you can click on PDF, and I'll show you that right now. If you click that link, you can actually download everything, all the info about the actual unit you're building. And what I've done is put everything into a folder, and this will be your step-by-step guide how to install the bike. And it's really important to follow these rules. It actually shows you exactly what you need to do, the components you need, the steps you need to take, the things you have to avoid, and how everything should look, all the components you may or may not need. Yeah, this is like, it's like idiot proof, I think.
I now declare this frickin' idiot convention open!
No offense. If you follow this, and that is really important, do your homework before you start working on the bike. Just read through it. There's a lot of things like warnings about avoid this, make sure you do this and that. Yeah, I think there's a lot of information here that you really need to look at. But in the end, what I've done is I've made like this little folder where the custom wiring diagram is in. I have put in the original wiring diagram, and I've put in all the different pages that comes with this X21 Value-m. And I've read everything, so I actually know already what I need to do, and that is really important. So am I sponsored by NWT for doing this video? Well, of course, if you follow my Instagram stuff, you know I know Al.
The force is strong in this one.
Who is working with NWT Europe, or basically who is on the NWT Europe. But I also did a breakdown with him, and I won a I think it was a Marty, I can't remember these names. Anyway, because that is a legacy product, and that was something like this with the little blue NWT logo. This was a legacy product. He said, I'm going to send you an X21 and install that into this one, see how it pans out, and that's how I got it. So I basically won this, I think, but also I got sponsored. I don't know, so I'll just put in the paid waddy thing in the top, but yeah. So this is the bike that I'm going to put the X21 into. This is a GS450, same as the one I've already done. There's a difference between that one. That one is still over there, so I'll just show you the picture. That's the bike I'm referring to all the time. That one has a lithium battery, and I fucking hate lithium batteries. I already fried a couple of those. That's my fault, but so I've gone with a gel battery, which is bigger, but I was lucky enough to fit that here in the back. And that gel battery brings me to all the different components that come into play when you're using one of these systems. So the X21, same as the M unit, this is the X21, needs something to control it with. You need buttons for that, and there are these. Again, these came with the unit. With the M unit, you have to buy them separately.
It's like a reward.
And these are really easy because they've got little connectors as well, so it makes life a lot easier. The other thing I bought from NWT was this switch. So a key, an ignition thingy. You don't have to use their ignition, you can use something else as well, but they sell this, and I don't know how much is it, like 30 euros I think, something like that, I don't know. Anyway, you can use this to get the system started. The other thing I got from them is the starter solenoid. It's not really any different from the one I've got on the M unit, which I got separately from like eBay or whatever. So yeah, do you need to get these from NWT? You do not have to, but I think it's pretty good. Price is okay, and if you can get it from one place, it's just easier, I guess. I do still need to find a way how to mount this into this particular bike, but it doesn't say anything about the unit itself. I think that's fine. The wiring diagram uses this unit, and that helps with installing. So I think for the price, just get one of these, and then the guys from NWT will use this in your wiring diagram. They know how this works, and if it was scrapped, they wouldn't sell it. So get one of these as well. Throttle body, well, whatever, it's just basic for this unit. What else am I going to use? Of course, you need a regulator rectifier. Now this is the original one from this bike. Because I am not using a lithium battery, I can just use the original one. This thing was fine. If you're going to use a lithium battery, then you have to replace it. That's exactly what I did on the other one. So I'm actually going to use the original reg rack on this one, which saves money. Now the CDI, of course, this is what comes with the bike. I have no reason to assume that this doesn't work, and it's actually been incorporated into the wiring diagram, so no hassle there. Obviously I've got some aftermarket blinkers, and they are incorporated into the diagram as well. These are going to be here at the back. I had made some brackets for those. I don't like them, and actually see the paint didn't like the primer I used, so I may just mount them in a different way. But anyway, aftermarket blinkers, and these are LEDs. I'm not going to change anything about the headlight, so the headlight's just a normal bulb. What else have we got? Oh yeah, the gears. This particular bike, same as that one, has a gear selector. You can actually wire up and let it show what type of gear it's in, like a first neutral, second blah blah blah. The only thing I'm going to use is the neutral. That's the same thing I did on that one. It's just going to give a small light somewhere at the front. I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to put a small LED there showing it's a neutral. This is going to be a small LED showing it's indicating a direction. I'm just going to do one light, and I did something else. I can't really remember what, but that's already in the diagram. So that is basically the entire electric system on this bike. There is of course starter motor, signal generator, and battery. So yeah, there's brakes, of course, brake lights, and that's it. So obviously everything is in the wiring diagram. I think I've got all my components complete, so all I need to do now is install it. So this is more or less the wiring loom that actually came with this bike. So all the tape has been taken off, and this is not even all of it, but this would normally be on this bike. I warn you, I throw spaghetti again. And most of it would have been like stuffed down this headlight if you could fit it, and yeah, push down everywhere and just be like, oh, dreadful. And we're gonna make that a lot simpler. Now I do have to give credit to the M unit with that single wire they got to the front. I really like that. I'm not really sure how that N unit will do. That NWT unit will do in the same way, but we'll see, I guess. So I think where we need to start is get rid of all this stuff and figure out where all the different units are going to be put inside the tray, and then go over to the front and start working from there with the buttons. So let's unwrap these goodies. Now I've already unwrapped the starter solenoid. One of these fuses is the actual fuse, the other one is a spare. So yeah. Oh yeah, and it comes with these stainless steel holders, so you can use that if you want to mount it, which I will do. Value-m I've got comes in a packet of 2, so actually says it on the packet, 1 of 2, 2 of 2. Let's open it up. And that is the actual X21. So cool sticker. There you go. This is for mounting the unit. So these little screws, you can push them through here and then make it really secure. But you can also use this little patch, and I think that works the same. This weighs absolutely nothing. So, and then there's this wiring. So I'll just get rid of that little. So that's actually a lot of wire. This comes with the unit. Again, an M unit does not provide this. You have to buy that separately. I haven't figured out which this is. So that's like green and blue. Well, I'll just have to follow the wiring diagram. So next is the second package. Now first off are these pieces of paper. These are actually templates that you can use to drill holes into the handlebars, and we'll do that later on. So that is actually, that's really cool that they provide that as well. It shows you where to drill and where the holes will go into the wiring. We'll do that later on. But there's an additional service that others do not provide. Now there are 2 screws in there that actually correspond with these, with the mounting of the brackets. These connectors are kept separate, so you can actually run these wires through your handlebars and then attach the connectors. these are all pre-wired, so you don't need to do anything to the switch, which is often really fiddly. All you need to do is drill the holes using the template and run it through your handlebars, and then you have to wire up these two wires and run this wire back to the X21. So there is even more. You also got this, which is the throttle body. Throttle, I don't know how you call it. This is actually so cool. You can just take this apart, put in your throttle cable, and you can just turn this in there. It needs a catch. So you can actually do that, and that's your throttle body. This is proper strong. So I came free with it. And then apart from, and additionally you've got these connectors to put everything that is open on wiring wise into the X21. So that is a lot of stuff you don't get with an M unit. So I think that is an absolute bonus. So we're going to stop the video here, and I will continue in the next one with mounting the different components to the bike. I had to make some more mounting points for that. You will see that in the next video. For now, I'm going to close it off. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, and see you in the next one. To their tech support. Now this is the wiring drain. Non-blue, so non-blue. Fucking hell. Fucking hell.